people, we are Tottenham TV, back here for another Tottenham update. And before we get into it, do go visit our website, www.wearetottenhamtv.com. We have acquired the official website now, WeAreTottenhamTV.com. Go and leave your best comment on any of the articles, and we will be reacting to them very, very soon. And we'll be giving away free merch to the best commenter as well. But let's get straight into the update. And we gave you yesterday that Destiny Udogie is about to sign the new contract, and we have official confirmation now, as Spurs say, that we are delighted to announce Destiny Udogie has signed a new contract with the club that will run until the summer of 2030, having signed from Udinese in August 2022. Destiny returned to the Serie A side on loan for the remainder of the season. Arriving at the club ahead of the current campaign, he made his competitive debut in August 2023 against Brentford, and since then has made 14 appearances in our colours to date, an integral part of the team's attacking style of football. The 21-year-old left-back registered his first goal for the club in a 4-1 victory over Newcastle in December 2023. After an impressive string of performances, Destiny earned his first call-up to the Italy senior squad in October 2023, making his debut with some months in the Euro 2024 qualifying fixture against Malta. And Calcio Mercato claim that Destiny Udogie's new contract will see him earn €2 million net per year. So what that means is £1.7 million net, 3.2 million gross, which means he takes home only around 33 grand a week, which is around 65 grand a week gross. So not that much in terms of Destiny. A lot of players in the squad on much more than that.
Yeah, but he's 20. He's still very
it's a long
new.
contract, though.
Very long contract. You are right. I'm sure there's incremental pay rises in the contract, I would assume anyway. I don't think he's going to be on that fee for 7 years. Because as you say, 2030. It's very rare. Even we gave Kane a 6-year deal in his pomp, didn't we? And that was seen as like a very long contract, signing him, sealing his future. But it's mad to think about. He's got a 7-year deal, and that will only take him to 27.
Yeah.
Only. So he's still gonna, have many years after that. I'm delighted for him because I think he's earned it. I think he's been unbelievable in his first few months as a Tottenham player. Obviously, it's reward for a brilliant start to the season for him, and I think it's also Tottenham saying, I think we found a gem here. I think we found our left back for many years to come, and I couldn't agree more with that statement from Spurs, because I think Udogie has been absolutely phenomenal, and I think there's no doubt in my mind, if he stays for Tottenham for the length of that deal, he's gonna be by the end of it, he'll be thought of as Tottenham's best ever left back in the Premier League.
Wow,
era.
Best ever left back. That is some high words.
I think so.
High words. Better than Gareth Bale.
Come on. Doesn't count.
Let's move on. And
don't agree?
Look, I think who is considered now as Tottenham's best left back? Danny Rose. And Danny Rose was really only 2 years really at the top of his game, wasn't he? So if Destiny Udogie carries on this trajectory until the end of that contract, until 27 years of age, then yeah, I mean, it's hard to disagree against it, to be honest. But look, let's move on and talk about a potential incoming this January or in the summer, as Sammy Mockwell says that Tottenham are keen on signing Conor Gallagher if Chelsea decide to sell. With Gallagher reluctant to sign a new contract at Chelsea, they are prepared to consider offers for the midfielder when the transfer window opens next month. His contract does end a year in the summer, so 2025. It is an interesting one with the midfielders that we could be looking to get out the door. Giovani Lo Celso, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, maybe even Ollie Skip as well. I think Conor Gallagher, I think right now, I don't know if there's space in the squad for him apart from in January, but I think if there are moving parts with those players I mentioned, I think it could be a really good signing.
I like Conor Gallagher. I really wanted him in the summer. Obviously, we couldn't really make it work because Højbjerg ended up staying. I, for one, would much rather Gallagher in the squad than someone like a Højbjerg or even Ollie Skip. I think he's much more suited to that role. I think he gives you that energy and that aggressiveness off the ball, but on the ball as well. Gives you a bit more offensive ability, get a forward thinking, a bit more quality than the likes of Højbjerg, I feel anyway. I think he's having a pretty good season for Chelsea, albeit Chelsea have been absolutely terrible. When you looked at Chelsea's midfield at the beginning of the season, you might have thought, they signed a lot of midfielders for big money. How's he going to get a look in? But I think whenever he's been fit, he started every game, been captain for a lot of those games as well. And I think he's probably been one of their better players, albeit I think even him would probably say could have performed better. But I think when you look at Chelsea, he's probably been one of their better players even this season. So I like him. I think he'd be perfect for one of those number 8 roles in a Spurs shirt. But as you say, we're very stacked in midfield. So unless we're moving people on, I don't see us just signing him. But I think if we can get rid of a couple, I'm more than happy to bring in Gallagher.
I think I would prefer him more than Højbjerg, probably prefer him more than Skip as well. And I'd probably prefer him at this point more to Lo Celso, to be honest, especially with his age, English quota. I think he ticks a lot of boxes and his versatility as well. You know, for Chelsea this year, he's either been a number 8, he's played a number 10 as well. And I think Ange would like that versatility in the midfield. And he's a player that has that energy and that passion that Ange really loves as well. So I think he actually is a proper Ange Postecoglou midfielder. So if Chelsea are willing to sell to us is another story though, isn't it? And with 1 year left in his contract, you do expect maybe other clubs would be interested in him as well.
Yeah, I think so. But I think there's a chance. I don't know about selling to Spurs, but I definitely think there's a chance they might sell him because if they sell a homegrown player, it really helps with their FFP because it's pure profit. According to the account. So I can definitely see them being open to selling him if they're really looking to bolster the squad in January, which Pochettino seems to be alluding to.
Well, we'll have to see and wait how that one happens. But let's talk about Giovani Lo Celso now. As Sky Sports, I think it's Lyle Thomas, says that Xavi is determined to sign Tottenham midfielder Giovani Lo Celso for Barcelona in the January transfer window and requested the club to get it done in what is seen as a test to the support for him. Obviously, he's not having things all go his way this season for Barcelona, isn't he? Just lost massively at home to Girona on the weekend. I think they're about 4th in the league or something, Barcelona, on the back of winning La Liga last season, the re-emergence of Real Madrid, the emergence of Girona. And I think Barcelona need to be seen as really backing Xavi at the moment with what's going on. And if he really wants Lo Celso, maybe they will go and try and push the boat out with whatever money that they can find behind the couch, Barcelona, as they usually do. But look, if Gio's not going to sign a new contract and we don't see a long-term future for him here, then it's probably the right time to sell in January.
Potentially.
If we can bring someone in.
Yeah, that's the thing. We have to be able to bring someone in. I don't think Ange is going to want to let him go unless we've got a plan to replace him. Obviously, he came out of the team on Sunday and on Sunday, and obviously we looked brilliant. Off the back of 2 really good performances from Gio though, so it was quite harsh to take him out, but obviously he took that decision, and it's not like we were missing Gio on Sunday. I thought Spurs were excellent, and Kulusevski playing in that central role gave us another option in that central midfield, so that obviously gives more competition to Giovani Lo Celso. But we know Sarr and Basuma, Bentancur all not going to be available for January, so I can see it being. I think Gio's definitely going to get some opportunities in January for sure, and I think as well between now and January, with the games coming thick and fast, I'm sure he'll get opportunities as well. I'm sure Andrew's going to want to rotate a bit, and I'm sure he'll get some starts as well. So I still think January is unlikely, I would say, but if there is someone lined up and Gio's desperate to go and we've got a ready-made replacement, then all of a sudden I think that's a transfer that can happen. But I think right now I'm probably siding with him staying in January and him probably being part of the team.
I probably would love to see maybe us sell, if this is realistic, I don't know, but us to sell maybe Giovani in January, maybe a loan until the summer with an option or an obligation to buy for 20, 30 million, something like that. I think 30 million is probably a bit of a stretch, to be honest, but maybe 20 million for Lo Celso, and you bring in a Conor Gallagher for probably 35, 40, 45 million. I think that would be really good business, to be honest, but I don't know how realistic that is.
Yeah, I think Lo Celso's got a bit more quality than Gallagher on the ball, but I think it's just what Gallagher offers you off the ball, which I think would really help with Pochettino's system, winning the ball back at the pitch and that kind of thing. I think Gio's got good off the ball ability, but I think Gallagher Postecoglou system. I think
stuck in your old ways.
Yeah, sorry. I think Gio's got good off the ball ability, but I think Gallagher's just a bit of a monster off the ball. That's what he offers you.
Yeah, the booking a game guaranteed, another one that we can get.
Yeah, exactly.
We're along with Destiny, Udogie, and Cuti Romero, and Bissouma, to be fair.
He'll be in good company.
Yeah, but let's move and let's talk about Sergio Reguilón now. As Estadio Deportivo claiming that Reguilón would be open to returning to play in Spain if the opportunity arises in January. Obviously, he has got a contract on loan at Manchester United till the end of the summer, or till the summer. It does have a break clause in January, which I don't know if Man United are going to take that up or not. But with Luke Shaw back now, but they still have heavy injuries in central defence, and Luke Shaw seeming to be moved into central defence when they do have injuries there. Do you think they are going to break the clause?
Well, it was interesting hearing Ten Hag talk about it a week ago. So he was talking about, is Reguilón going to go back to Spurs in January? And he was saying how he doesn't want to confirm it. There's another club involved in Tottenham. We have to decide with them what we want to do. So I thought that was a bit odd, considering if he was desperate to keep him, he probably wouldn't have been saying that, because I think it's in United's hands to keep it. I don't think it's on Tottenham to break it. I think it's on United. So I thought it was a bit odd for him not to be very kind of confident in what he was saying on Reguilón. So maybe that gave me a hint that maybe he'd be willing to just, maybe they want to sign another left back in January. Maybe they don't want to keep him on. Maybe it's dependent on whether they sign someone, whether they keep him on or not. I think he's done all right at Man United. I don't think he's done amazing. I think when he has started, which has been a few and far between. I think he started a few games. A lot of games they prefer Dallo at left back actually instead of him. But I think when he has played, he's been pretty good. But I don't think he's been incredible. I don't think he's been he's put in performances that convince them that okay, we want to sign this guy permanently or anything like that. So. Could Spurs use him as a backup to Destiny right now? But again, with the foreign quota, there was a reason we needed to get rid of him as well. I think for me, if he wants to go to Spain, let him go. I mean, I'm more than happy for him to go to Spain if he does want to stay at United. Yeah, I mean, I could see him wanting to stay at United. It's just if United want to keep him or not. And what you're saying with what Ten Hag was saying doesn't seem like they're desperate to keep him. Let's just put it that way. And look, we'll have to see what happens in January. But I do kind of get the feeling that he will be sent back to Tottenham. And if he is sent back to Tottenham, I do see him maybe going on loan to Spain or something. But I can't see anyone maybe pushing the boat out and spending any money on him. Yeah. Which is crazy to think about, because when we signed him, he was one of the most sought after left backs in European football. Just won the Europa League with Seville in a standout individual displays as well in that tournament. And he was one of the best young up-and-coming left backs in Europe. And it's just like since joining Tottenham, he's just gone down and down and down. Well, is there no chance Tottenham keep him around as a left back? We've been playing Everton there recently. Davis is more of a centre-back now. We don't really have someone there at the moment. Yeah, I mean, I do see, when Mickey van der Ven comes back, potentially if we sign a centre-back in January as well, Ben Davis will be moved maybe more over to a backup left-back, to be honest. So if that does happen, and I do see that happening, to be honest, quite quickly after January, I don't see any sort of opportunities for Reguilón. Yeah, you're probably right. Let's talk. We've got a few quotes here. First one from Emi Martinez on Cuti Romero, and I found this one quite funny. And he says, "I know the virtue of Cuti. Either the ball passes or the player passes, not both. That gives me life. I know Cuti's weakness. I remember in the final against France, Cuti went in with both feet to Mbappe. I grabbed him by the shirt at halftime. I told him, if you get kicked out, I'll beat the shit out of you after the game. I have to tell Cuti, please stop hitting. Cuti plays like that on the edge of a red card, and I'm always catching him in that sense, but he's impressive." So do you reckon there's anyone in the Spurs squad that actually does the same and grabs him by the neck at half time and go, just don't get bloody sent off? Exactly. That's what we need. We need a fiery Argentinian to put him in this place sometimes in the dressing room. That's all we need. Probably not, to be honest. He's probably doing it to everyone else. And also you got to remember he's a vice captain, so he's the leader or one of the leaders in the leader. Sonny to grab him by the shirt and tell him. I reckon James Maddison would. Maybe. I think in terms of players with that kind of aggression, he's just far and away the most aggressive in that dressing room from what I can see. We don't Martinez is a very eccentric character, and I can see him doing that, but we don't really have that kind of character. Maybe Vicario, maybe he's quite eccentric, but it's funny that quote because I remember that challenge he's talking about in the final, but he had a brilliant final appearance. Maybe that talking to for Martinez just let him get his head right in that second half. And obviously, I thought he had a brilliant game overall. But that Romero, when he's at his best, is when he's just towing that line perfectly, and that's when he becomes really. You can't get past him. It becomes unplayable at times when he's in that kind of form. But then we've seen against Chelsea and maybe that challenge against Newcastle, he steps over that line, and if he keeps doing that, it's very frustrating when he's laying down the team, but potentially can get more red cards and missing games. And when he's at his best, he's just so sorely missed. So hopefully he can just harness that aggression that he has in a really positive way, which I think for most of the season he has been doing, but don't know, past few games, maybe he's stepped over that line a few too many times.
Yeah, it's since the Chelsea game, really. Because before that, the first 10 games of the season, he was perfect, wasn't he? Mm-hmm. He was absolutely perfect. Not over-aggressive, not under-aggressive, just absolutely where he needs to be. And it's no surprise to me that since Mickey van der Ven has been injured, maybe he's lost it a little bit because he maybe needs to cover and maybe feels like he needs to do a bit more now since Mickey van der Ven has been out injured.
Yeah. I also feel like, though, the fact that he's willing to get a red card, not willing to get a red card, but the fact that he will step over that line sometimes kind of makes him more intimidating in a way. Because players would be like, I don't want to go near him. He'll actually get sent off. Some players know these players won't go over the line, so they can step over the boundaries a bit. But they know they can't cross Romero because he will get sent off.
Yeah, look, there's two ways of looking at it. There's that way, but there's also a way of being like, you know what? I'll put my body on the line for the team here, and I'll get Romero sent off, and they'll be down to 10 men.
Yeah, there's also another way of looking at it.
Let's finish off on quotes from Richarlison now since the end of the game on the weekend. And he says, I am hungry. I always want to play, but I learned this lesson the hard way. If your health and mental health are not up to date, there is no point. A lot of people criticized me, said bad things about me because I really wasn't performing at my best. And since my head wasn't feeling good anymore due to the lack of confidence and off the field matters, which wasn't great either, everything went down a very bad path. So much that I took a break from social media and I've been saying very little because I want to recover and I'm focused on that. Thank God I'm feeling much better and without pain. Very happy for the goals I scored, but also for being able to help the team more effectively. I have the energy to recover. I stole the ball from the first goal in midfield and I arrived in one place to finish later. Things that hadn't been happening, and that makes me very confident. Now we have to think about evolving with each game, having a good sequence, and things will return to their place. And look, he's absolutely right, because probably his best performance in a Spurs shirt. He hasn't looked right on the pitch since joining Tottenham. Last year, maybe a completely different set of issues, but specifically this year, he just hasn't looked happy on the pitch, hasn't been moving right, and he's had that surgery now, and he looks much better off for it.
Yeah, 100%. And to hear him saying, he's struggling to even shoot in training because of this injury and how much pain he was in, how much discomfort it was causing him, that must have made a massive difference. And also it makes you second guess yourself all the time whenever you're taking a shot or anything like that. So I think he just looked a lot freer in his movement, definitely on Sunday against Newcastle. It wasn't just the goals he scored, it was just the challenges he was putting in, it was a few dribbles he was doing and all this kind of stuff. I'm delighted for him that hopefully he can get over these problems and we can see the real Richarlison, because he's come under a lot of criticism. A lot of people have been clowning on him, and a lot of people have been giving up on him, to be honest, because of the performances he's been putting in a Spurs shirt. But look, hopefully he can turn that around now, and he can start showing why we paid all that money for him, and can start showing his real ability, because we know there's a player in there. We saw at Everton, we saw what you can do, but he's been a shadow of himself ever since he's come to Tottenham. So hopefully those days are behind him, but it's only one game, so he's going to have to do it consistently. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm backing him to do it. So come on, Rishi. But just a quick one before we end the update, just a quote from Destiny Udogie saying, I'm really happy because I think to be here at this club is a big joy for me. So I'm really happy for this opportunity and it's a pleasure. And there's more quotes from him on the Spurs website if you want to go and check that one out. So big up to Destiny Udogie. That is your Tottenham update for today. Remember to go and leave your best comment down on this article on the website, WeAreTottenhamTV.com. But thank you everyone for joining us today. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.